What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It is your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals, giving you knowledge when it comes to the youth baseball space, giving kids the maximum exposure and helping kids get into schools, man. And speaking of getting into schools and maximum exposure and colleges and all of that, man, I figure I had to come a little hard on Monday, man. It's been a while, man. I don't have no. It's been, all the coaches working now. They're earning their money now, getting back on the field, man. So it's been a minute since I've been able to get some coaches on here, man. But shout out to my boy sitting next to me over here, man. And it's taking out his time, man. Busy schedule. Been traveling all weekend from Georgia back to the SIP, man. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate my man taking out the time to join me over here, man, as we come back from my own showcase this past weekend, man. But I am joined by recruiting coordinator at Jackson State University in Mississippi, Kevin Whiteside, man. Big Kev, what's good, family?
What's going on, D, man? I appreciate you having me on.
No doubt about it, man. So, I mean, listen, it's been I know things is going crazy down there at Jackson State, man. This is good times to be down there, what I'm saying, down in Jackson. A lot of stuff going on over there. How you handling everything going on down there with the changes and things going on here and there, man? What's been going on that side, man?
We just been trying to, as a team, just trying to really focus on getting better. We really didn't have an opportunity to have a fall this year due to COVID. So we just got our kids back pretty much January 6th. So, we've been trying to, just play catch up a little bit. Had our first series this weekend over in Mercer. Didn't quite do too well, but, we just got to keep getting better every day.
Man, speaking of that, man, I mean, before we get into the X's and O's and Jackson State as a university and all of that, man, I like to, we're going to learn about, Coach Whiteside today, man, background, playing career, up to, where you are now as recruiting coordinator at Jackson State, man. So, give my listeners, man, a little background, man, from, where you started at playing, where you from, playing, coaching career to where you are now, man.
No doubt. First of all, I'm a country boy from Fayette County, Alabama. Little rural town in northwest Alabama, up near Tuscaloosa. Played high school ball there. Was fortunate enough to sign a college baseball scholarship to go play for Gary Reedus, who was in the big leagues for a long time, about 13 years in the big leagues with the Pirates.
I feel it, right?
Yeah, Pirates and the Reds, and that's probably the person who, first person really taught me how to play the game of baseball, on that type of level. Spent some time with him there, and after that, signed a baseball scholarship at Jackson State University, and that's kind of when my relationship with Coach Johnson, first started. He started recruiting me when I was 19 years old, and pretty much from that point on till today, we talk pretty much every day. After Jackson State, I had an opportunity to play 3 years of independent ball. Played a year out in Fullerton, California for Gary Templeton, another former big leaguer. Unbelievable baseball mind. Learned a lot from Temp. Spent a year down in Harlingen, Texas, Rio Grande Valley in the United League, and finished up my career with the New Haven County Cutters up in New Haven, Connecticut, and kind of started my coaching journey a little bit. Right after that, I was fortunate enough to be able to work with C.J. Stewart, Diamond Directors Baseball over in Atlanta, Georgia. Very, very smart baseball mind. C.J. is probably one of my mentors in the game of baseball. Him and his wife, Kelly, they have an unbelievable organization in Atlanta called Lead. They do a lot of great, nonprofit stuff with the inner city youth in Atlanta. After that, I spent a year at Alabama A&M and kind of transitioned a little bit there. I was fortunate enough to get coaching the New York Collegiate League. I was a head coach up there, College Summer League, 2 years in a row. Spent a year in Wellsville, New York, and spent another year in Geneva. And 2 years there, got head coaching experience there. And I was fortunate enough, off those two, get a really good job, as far as, league-wise in the Great Lakes League the following summer in Lorain, Ohio. And so, I fortunate enough to get 3 years of head coaching experience there. Took a year off. Then I joined the Louisiana Knights down in Mandeville, Louisiana. Coached our 16U teams there for 2 years and our 15U teams there for a year. Jack Crescent, those guys do an unbelievable job down there in Louisiana. And, I had a really, really good 3-year run. with those guys. Outside of that, probably since 2011, I've been a high school coach. And, I was high school coach at my alma mater at Fayette County High School from 2011 to 2018. Then I took a job at Bartlett High School in right outside Memphis. Spent the last 2 years there. And, Coach Johnson called, man, and it was an unbelievable opportunity. My wife probably told me to take the job before anybody. I'm so blessed to have her in my life and my daughter Chaselyn, and they were on board with it, and it just worked out.
Good deal, man. You must have left. You came to Bartlett right when I left Memphis, man. I didn't know you was out there, man.
Yeah, we got there. I think in March of 19 there, and stayed there. I stayed there 2 years. Our staff that came up from Alabama. I spent 2 years there. Really, really good program. And they did a really good job of renovating the school and the facilities and everything like that. So it was really, really good place to be.
Yeah, I ain't know that, man. I left out of there a few months after you got there, man.
Yeah.
But I know Bartlett, that Memphis, got some really good programs, man. And Bartlett is one, definitely good program out there, man. So good, man. Well traveled, man. Well experienced, man. So now you at Jackson State, man. Tell me, how good does that feel, man? I know what I think. I read up on it. When November, December, you took the gig. You know what I'm saying? Or was it before? Maybe official became November?
Yeah, kind of officially. Right about December 5th or 6th, kind of officially. Got here and things like that. And man, I can't. This is an unbelievable place. This is home. And being able to work aside somebody that I think so highly of in Coach Johnson. I tell people all the time, I don't really feel like I work for him. I feel like I work with him, because if you know him, if you've ever been around him, man, he's gonna roll his sleeves up and get dirty right there beside you. And just really, really fortunate enough to have that relationship with him. We have, like I said, I started knowing him, when I was 19 years old. Really, really fortunate that he went to the University of North Alabama, and really good friends with two of my cousins up there that went to school up there. And that's kind of how that he started recruiting me once he got to Jackson State, because, they kind of told him, like, hey, my cousin's a pretty good little baseball player. Can you take a look? And he did, man. And I thank the good Lord that he did. And, being able to be here, as a player, and now on the flip side of it as a coach, is really good. So I can, from a player standpoint, I can kind of relate to our players and know what they're going through, when he's talking to them, and, on the flip side of it, kind of let those guys know what we expect as a staff. But, our philosophy here, we want to recruit guys that can run. That's kind of the name of the game for us. We want to finish top in the country every year in stolen bases. We're going to finish top in the year every year in sack bunts. I know sack bunts and bunting and bunt for a hit is kind of obsolete these days, because everybody's focused on hitting the ball out of the ballpark and seeing how high my launch angle and things like that is. But, we try to do some different things of playing, somewhat of a small ball and try to put pressure on people from a defensive standpoint. We've led the nation in stolen bases, several years, and we're just trying to find kids that can run first and foremost. Trying to find some talented players. We're in a situation right now where we're trying to get our program to that next level. We've been really good here for a long time. Coach Johnson closing in on 500 wins and 15 seasons here. So, our product is pretty good. So we just got to continue to recruit at a high level, and that's where I come into play, man. I'm just coming out, trying to find the best players we can find, and trying to mold them in what we like to do.
Now, speaking of, what I'm saying, of because is that your main focus? Because we're gonna get on the recruiting side of things. Why you want it, man? Because first thing I asked you was like, yo, what you looking for in certain classes, whatever. In this particular class, my man said, I'm looking for 6'5" runner or better. And, what I'm saying? He ain't looking for a 6'8" or better. He said, my man, I'm looking for 6'5" or better from the outfield. somebody that could dig. I was like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you ain't
No,
playing.
we got some talented guys out there right now. We're gonna lose 3 seniors this year. Those guys have been around the program for a long time. Equan Smith, Chandler Dillard, C.J. Newsom. Those guys have been around this program for a long time, and those guys can play baseball. Not only can they run, but they're baseball players. And those guys are 6'4", 6'5" runners. So we got some guys behind them that we feel really good about. But we want to continue to recruit guys that can first of all, they can play baseball. You know what I mean, at a high level, and at the same time, the guys that can run. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to run. We're trying to put pressure on people, and create opportunities. Because we talk about all the time here. We're trying to get a runner at third base with less than 2 outs. Because you don't need to hit to score. A lot of things can happen. So that's what we try to do. We try to preach that every day. We try to preach situations. One thing we talk about all the time, you don't have to be a really good player to be able to situational hit. It was guys in the big leagues played for a long time that just knew how to situational hit, and they were, really, really average players, but they had long careers because they knew how to handle the bat.
Amen. Yeah. So coming into a situation, man, I mean, obviously you played at a college level, coached at a college level for a long time, been coaching. So when Coach Johnson, hires you, do you got to go into knowing that does he say like, Coach Whiteside, this is what we recruit, this is whatever, or does he kind of let you put your spin on it? Because he's obviously been successful in his own way, but he also may wanted some new blood in there to maybe you may recruit a whole different type of player, right? You know what I'm saying? So is it a combination of two, or is it kind of like, hey, these are the kind of kids I want here, and you just got to go after them, or does he let you kind of like, give a little bit of a free reign, not free reign, but kind of like, I like speed too, but I kind of like this brand of ball too, Coach. What you think? Are y'all on the same page, or is it kind of my way or the highway type of thing? I'm just anxious to hear.
No, we're definitely on the same page. One good thing about being here, man, our philosophy is pretty much is what we are, and we know the style of players that we want to recruit, and he gives me an opportunity to go out and find guys that that fit that bill. You know what I mean? And that's one good thing I like about it. It's not really much micromanaging. It's go out and do your job and find the best players we can find. And it's I've been told no since I got here, and we're trying to go out and trying to find those high level players, man. I'm not gonna lie about it. We're trying to go find them players like everybody else got. So those are guys that I'm going after, and those guys tell me no, they tell me no, but they're going to have to tell me no a couple times. So, we're just going to continue to recruit guys. We're trying to recruit the ones at a high level, and, just really, really, really fortunate.
All right. The Orlando says, has having prime time as the football coach had any impact in the baseball program?
I think not right now at the moment, from the standpoint of, I guess, those guys are right now, they're in their season. From a standpoint of this is kind of a new thing for us right now, because we got pretty much every sport right now on campus playing at the same time, and that's kind of a different thing than normal. Football's playing in the spring, so from a standpoint of having a buzz around this place, yeah, but from immediate impact on our baseball program, not so much right now at this moment.
All right. So when you out here, trying to get that, those type of players and into your program, do you feel like because you got here in the fall going into the wintertime, do you feel like you're kind of behind on the 8 ball because of with the COVID restrictions and all of that? How do you feel about being put in this situation right now, recruiting coordinator in November, December, or has it helped you because of everybody coming back and getting an extra year? How has that dynamic been getting hired, as the recruiting coordinator? It's kind of like, in the end of the fall, early winter time.
Well, with recruiting, recruiting is all about relationships. you know, and trying to build relationships not only from the kids but their families, but also, you know, coaches, you know, networking. And you know, I was really fortunate to have an opportunity to go to Fenway Park with the Future Star Series and Jeremy Booth in September. And I was able to develop some really good relationship with JB, and you know, he does a really good job as far as, you know, his organization and going out and doing different combines around the country, and you know, guys like you, and kind of using guys that I've been around, you know, CJ and, you know, Jack Crescent with the Louisiana Heights, and guys that I know who runs really good, you know, summer organizations, high school coaches that I know, you know, just really focusing on building some relationships. And, you know, we've been able to go out and find some really good players.
All right. My boy Roosevelt Brown says, "What's up, fellas?" And he said, tell Coach Whiteside, you got to start keeping home state players here, brother. He said, y'all let too many guys get in your backyard get away.
Well, you know, first and foremost, you know, we definitely want to recruit the state. You know, we got some really talented players here in Mississippi, you know, and that's been a focus of mine, you know, since I got here, you know. So, you know, we're going to continue to try to do the best we can to recruit kids from Mississippi. We got some really talented kids, you know, on our roster right now from Mississippi. So we're just going to continue to recruit the Mississippi high school kids, the Mississippi junior college kids, to try to do the best we can as far as, you know, stacking our roster with as many, you know, Mississippi kids as possible. And, you know, to Roosevelt, you know, you can definitely get my number from D, and, you know, I would love to sit down and talk to you about some players.
All right. Shout out to Rosie, former big league out there doing his thing out in Mississippi. What's your outlook on pitching? What up, Lawrence? All right. What's your outlook on pitching, and what types of pitchers you like for your program?
You know, first and foremost, you know, we want strike throwers. You know, we want guys who have good feel. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, especially right now, you know, you got guys that they can throw it 100 but can't throw it over the plate. You know, so, you know, I would take some guys that are 86, 89 and know how to pitch before I take that guy that's, you know, 95 that throw a strikeout every 10 pitches. So, you know, from that standpoint, we want guys that know how to pitch, that's got good feel, got good fastball command, and, you know, also really good changeups, you know, because personally, you know, I feel like the changeup is probably the best pitch in baseball.
Nah, throwing right. You right. All right. The Lauren says Roosevelt's cousin Chris Prentice was a baller at JSU. All right. The so overall outlook, man. And let me give it a quick shout out. I ain't even talking. My Lord have mercy. Forgive me for this, but shout out to everybody that was at my showcase yesterday. In Atlanta, Georgia, Peachtree City, man. We had over 8 states represented, and we had kids from the Virgin Islands that was there, man. So I appreciate everybody flying in, coming in town. We had North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Ohio, Maryland, and Tennessee, and the Virgin Islands represented yesterday, man. So I appreciate all y'all, you know, making the trip and making it a great showcase. I wanted to make sure I get that in. Usually I'm by myself, but I had to get my boy, you know, Coach Whiteside in here today, man. When we talking the day after these showcases, but forgive me on that. But shout out to everybody that was made that trip down there, and the local guys in here. All right. So, and Florida, and Florida. All right, Florida, Miami. Shout out to, you know, Eric, man. Your son was doing his thing. My bad. All right, he said Florida too. Shout out to everybody from Miami, Tampa that came in town, man. All right, cool. But man, let's see. Ohio checking in. I hope it was well today. It's the first day of high school baseball. My son's a juice for the season. All right, cool, Alan. All right, let's go here. Can you explain your process of evaluation of a kid's film, game film, highlights, Twitter film, etc.?
Well, you know, one good thing about, you know, this day and age with these cell phones, you can pretty much do anything with these things. And, you know, Twitter is an amazing thing right now from this aspect of a kind of building your own recruiting brand, I guess is a good way of putting it, because you can, you know, do your own recruiting stuff and post it and be able to tag coaches and do all your stuff without having to pay somebody these days. And that's one good thing about it. You know, you don't need the recruiting service, so to speak, to put you in a situation to see as many college coaches to see your film as possible. But the first thing, with all the showcases that they have these days, whether it's Perfect Game, Baseball Factory, the tournament you put on, the showcase you put on, the first thing that we're going to see the 60 times. We're going to see the arm strength. We're going to see, from a hitter standpoint, whether or not he got bat speed, if you got some power. Same thing from a pitching standpoint. You're going to look at the velo. You're going to look at whether or not he's got good fastball command. How does his off-speed pitches work? Things like that. But, I try to do it, from a standpoint of evaluation, try to gather as much information as I possibly can, from film, from coaches, from guys who've seen this kid multiple times, different scouts. And so you try to do as much as you can about evaluating kids, as possible, if he's going to be a kid as you're going to have an opportunity to offer.
All right. Juan says, "What's up, D? What's the dates on the Jackson State Showcase that you're hosting?" Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, put it like this. I spilled the beans because you and I talked about possibly doing something in the summer, and I said I'm gonna hopefully try to get something going with you in the summertime. Well, we did talk about it, right? So,
yeah.
And we ain't locked down a date, but definitely want to get something popping off in the summer over there.
No doubt, man. We hoping, the NCAA, opens this thing up and, it allows us to get kids back on campus and visits and, have showcases on campus because, it's been tough. I'll be the first to tell you, not being able to get out and physically put eyes on the kid. And, it's been tough from an evaluation standpoint. And on the flip side of that, it's been tough for families because it's tough to just, it's only so many virtual tours and Zoom calls you can get on with a coach. And, eventually you need to go and sit down and look him in the eye, and he needs to look y'all in the eye, and you need to kind of put your feet on the soil of the campus and, look at the field you're going to be playing on and kind of walk on it. And, so it's been a challenge, but, at the same time, this is the day and time we're in right now. So we just got to make the most of where we are. But, from a Jackson State baseball standpoint, as soon as we can get NCAA clearance, we're going to put out our summer camp schedule and things like that.
All right. Let me see here. Is it just me, or is SWAC school schedules getting tougher?
Our league is pretty good. We got a really good league, and our league is improving. And we're gonna play good people. This weekend, we open up with Mercer, and those guys were 13-3 last year before the shutdown. I think they're picked to finish, 1 or 2 in their league this year. We got Mississippi State scheduled for Wednesday. We're gonna play Ole Miss the following week, I believe. So we're gonna play good people every year because if you want to have an opportunity to compete at a regional and do well at a regional, you gotta compete against those guys right now. So to answer that question, yeah, we're gonna play good people year in and year out. Last year, Coach took the guys down to Miami, had a 3-game set with Miami. We played those guys, like I said, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. We played those guys traditionally in the past, Southern Miss. So, I think we got University of Louisiana Monroe on the schedule this year. Got Tulane on the schedule this year. So, we're going to play those guys, during midweek games and, try to get better for our weekend conference games.
All right. Anthony says, congrats on the new job, Coach Kevin. Best of luck to you. All right.
I appreciate it, Anthony.
Herman, I got the video. Thank you. All right, Dominic Lee, 2023 from your showcase is on the way to JSU. Would like to know what grades do you look for? He has a 385 and his academic money available at JSU.
First of all, just to kind of answer the question, from a 2023 standpoint, I can do it on here, but I can't talk to kids as far as like text messages, so to 23 kids that text me on Twitter or things like that, and I don't respond, it ain't because I'm not interested. It's just, right now with the NCAA rules, I can't talk to those guys. But from a standpoint of grades, 385 GPA, that's pretty good. But yes, we do offer academic money. I think it starts as far as when the ACT gets above a 22. So I think it goes from 22 to 24, gives you a certain amount of scholarship money. Then a 24 to, I think, 27 gets you a certain amount. And I think anything above a 28 with a 3.7 or better, I think is close to a presidential scholarship, close to a full ride. But I can get you those numbers so you can get it to dominate people.
All right.
Or whoever.
Is the 60 times needed for a catcher, pitcher, and first baseman?
No, not really. Not especially not for a catcher. No, we want some guys that have some really good pop times, that knows how to handle our pitching staff, and can do a really good job. Pitchers, no, we just want to throw strikes, man. Throw strikes, get out, and miss some bats. From the standpoint for us, we actually got some first basemen that can run. They're not 6'5" runners, but they're 6'8", 6'7" runners. So we want some athletic guys. I'll say that at first base.
All right. What up, Catrice? All right. Hey, what grade do you start recruiting a player?
We start trying. We recruiting. We kind of get them. I think that going into that junior year is when the first time we can kind of contact them. And, from a evaluation standpoint, it seems like it gets earlier and earlier every year. Right now, before I was on this side of the fence, I'm like, man, why these guys recruit these kids? They're freshmen. They ain't played any varsity games. But, now that I'm on this side of the fence, it's like if you don't start, identifying them now, by the time they get to the recruitable age, heading into that junior year, you're gonna be behind. So, I try to identify them as early as possible, and we can only start contacting them once they're headed into their junior year.
What up, North Carolina Ballers? What's up, my dude? Would you prefer to see video uncut or edited down to best plays?
Probably, if you're sending a video, you want to send it to, your best, you know what I mean? From a standpoint of game films, from a standpoint of the cage, if you're sending like some cage video, I think you can probably send, unedited, if it's in the cage.
All right. Oops. Let me see that. Jacob says, when looking for players, do you recruit the middle first and then move them to the corner, infield, and outfield?
I learned a long time ago. Delano DeShield said one time, he said, you recruit all shortstops. So he said, usually shortstop's the best athlete on the team. So, from a high school standpoint, usually shortstop's the quarterback. He's the point guard on the basketball team. So most of the time, from a high school kid standpoint, you try to recruit, the best athlete. Most of the time, the best athlete is the shortstop and a center fielder.
All right. Melodic Crawl says, Melody, Lord, forgive me. Coach, are you looking at 2024?
Back to, evaluating. Yes, I've started identifying some kids that early. As far as recruiting them, I can't start recruiting them as far as contacting those kids just because they're 2024. I can only start contacting the 2024 kids heading into their junior year.
All right. Lawrence says, what do you think about FAMU and Bethune coming into the SWAC next year?
I think it's a great addition to our league. Both those teams are traditionally really good. Bethune's had an unbelievable tradition down there in the MEAC. Same with FAM. Those guys have done really well in the MEAC for a long time, and that's only going to make our league better. And that's we're going to have a really, really tough league. So we're excited about it, and we're glad to have those guys in our league.
Coach, when you got a guy start looking for 2022 players of 2023, I've got an Aboriginal kid that got crazy athleticism two-way with a 3.5 GPA, and that's my boy CT out in Australia.
Awesome.
All right. So I'll connect y'all. All right. Zachary says, glad to hear about the catcher 60 times. All right. His son could play, though. He came to my showcase yesterday. He all right. He 2023 that can play. But anyway, What qualities, athleticism are you scouting for in a center fielder?
For us, our center fielders really all three of our outfielders right now are probably center fielders. So that's kind of where we are right now. All three of our guys that play left, right, and center, we can kind of interchange those guys at any time. They're extremely athletic guys, um, freakishly athletes. Those guys are plus runners, really strong arms. They can handle the bat well, and at the same time, those guys have been here for a long time. Those guys are 4-year seniors, 5th-year seniors. Just because due to COVID, some of those guys got their years back. So those guys are older guys. They've been in the program a long time. And from a quality standpoint, we're looking for some really, really athletic guys, with some plus arms, plus runners. Like I said, we want some guys that can run 6'6" or better, but at the same time, I'm not going to turn down somebody who can turn around and hit one on Lynch Street. If you ever been to Jackson, Mississippi, Lynch Street runs right behind our baseball field. So if they can hit a few on Lynch Street or on top of the soccer field out there in right field, I'll definitely look at it.
All right. Do you prefer junior college players or 4-year players, Coach?
I prefer difference makers. I want some guys who are going to help us win some championships. I don't care if it's a high school kid or a college kid. Right now I think junior college kids are not really say ahead of the curve, but you normally in normal circumstances you can get a junior college kid for 2 years. Now due to COVID, they're basically when you get them, they're sophomores. So you have JUCO kids for 3 years, which is normal. I mean, not normal from previous. Because, ideally, you want to get some high school kids, so you can develop them. But, right now, due to COVID, you can get a junior college kid and get them for 3 years just because, most of those guys got their years back, just like the guys here at our place.
All right. My boy Lawrence says, any California players on your roster right now, Coach?
Yeah, we do, man. We got some California kids. We've always had California kids on our roster. Our Friday night guy who threw Friday for us, Nick Galatis, is from the LA area. We have Jalen Williams, who went to St. Bosco, John Bosco Prep, I think, the big football powerhouse. That's how I know where. Yes, so he went to that school. And we got Hassan Standifer, who was part of the MLB Breakthrough Series. So, we got 3 guys on our roster from California. We're going to always recruit California. One of the former players here, Glenn Walker, he was from Compton, went to Compton Community College. Now he's a scout with the Mets, so he does a really good job. If he sees some players out there that he thinks they can play for us, he definitely calls me and lets me know. So, yeah, we're going to recruit them.
All right. Speaking of California, we coming out there next month. We had one yesterday. Put my plug in. March 20th, we coming out there for the showcase on March 20th in Holly Park. All right. So if you are in the Cali area, all right, of course, I got access to all the HBCU schools, many schools, including my boy, Coach Whiteside, who just said he recruits in California. So come on out there, all right, in LA, in Holly Park, Hawthorne, California. All right. So everybody out there, we coming March 20th. I had to put that in there, Coach, because we're talking about Cali, man. So,
no doubt.
All right. What's your graduation rate of players, and what do most major in?
Well, I'll tell you this: from a baseball standpoint, we graduate 92% of our players, and that is an astounding rate. We got guys who major anywhere from engineering to business to education. Our engineering department here at Jackson State University is really good. For our business department, I got my degree here from Jackson State in business. Our business department is really good. So, we graduate our guys. You're going to have to try really hard not to graduate when you come here. So you basically fail the system. We have an unbelievable academic advisor here, Miss Glass, and she does baseball. She handles our baseball guys, and she does an outstanding job. She stays on top of, whether they're, class attendance, grades, study hall stuff, and, anything those guys need as far as tutors and things like that. She does a phenomenal job, and she kind of reports back. back to us with her weekly report. So every week we'll get a printout of our full team roster. Let's say, D Brown, he's in business marketing class. I can see, does he have any missing assignments? What was his grades and all the assignments that he's turned in? So, we do a really good job, and Miss Glass does an outstanding job as far as staying on top of those guys and those academics. And, as well as us, from a standpoint, because if the guy's not going to go to class, we're not going to play him.
All right. Mark, what up, Mark? And Dallas in the house. Cole said earlier he only wants kids running 6'5" or lower. What if a player has another that catches his eye from a recruiting standpoint? Has another tool, I guess,
Well, we're not going to limit it to 6'5" or better. I would love to have them all running 6'5s, but we understand that as far as having that pool gets really small. Once you're starting to limit yourself, so to speak. But if a guy got some legitimate tools, we're going to recruit them. I'm going to recruit them all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just going to recruit guys that run 6'5" or better, because that's few and far between. Our whole team here at Jackson State University does not run 6'5" or better. Let me say that. But we do got some guys that are difference makers as far as running. So we're going to recruit guys that we feel like that can come into Jackson State University and be a difference maker.
All right. I have a 2023 shortstop pitcher that also is a running back for Lee High School in Montgomery. Does JSU allow two-sport athletes, players?
Yeah, we've had guys that have played two sports in the past. Yes.
All right. Sergio, you heard that? You asked for the same thing too, right, Serge? All right. Tyler said, my son is a 2021, has been accepted to Jackson State. What should he do now? He contacted you previously.
If he could contact me again, and I'll follow up with him from there.
All right. Shout out to him. What up, Eric? Coach D, I'm not going to dry snitch, but what you did at the end of the showcase is what will separate you from the others. Great job, sir. Please ask Coach Crick to do a drive-by today of 52 Florence Avenue. That's Cam's bloodline. Would love you to reach out if you're still interested to me or Cam. We got arms and athletes here in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. All right, Eric. I'm sorry, I posted that, but yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about separating people that had a good camp and who did not. And shout out to you getting your son up there to Atlanta, Georgia from Miami. And Coach Whiteside, the kid can play, man. Got a great stroke, man. And when I send you that film on there, please check out his son. He can swing it, man. Miami, Florida in the house. All right. So, all right. And I know he got mom went to Jackson State.
Okay.
So
yeah, we got a bunch of South Florida kids on our team. Coach Johnson from Miami, so we're always gonna recruit that South Florida area pretty well.
All right, cool. All right, I'll link y'all up. Jay Meyer from Wisconsin says, a question I ask a lot on here is, what advice do you give a middle school age kid that has goals of playing college baseball?
Fall in love with the weight room. Fall in love with it right now, because the separator right now, as far as kids, growing up, is kids that are the strength. That's the biggest thing. We look at, from a standpoint of strength. I tell guys all the time, especially when I was coaching in high school, have guys write their goals down. Put it somewhere where they can visually see those things every day. Put them in their bathroom. Brushing their teeth, they can see. See my goals. The goals that they want to have. But the biggest thing that I would tell a middle school age kid was probably fall in love with the weight room and fall in love with it right now.
All right. Terry says, what are your thoughts on attending prep baseball school before college?
Some are really good, but I guess if a kid can get into a program as far as maybe a JUCO or a 4-year school, and he finds the right fit for him, I think that's probably better than anything. But some prep schools are really good. I've got a really good relationship with a really good prep school. Probably 2 of them really that kind of we deal with or recruit, so to speak, and those guys do a really good job. But
All right. Russ says, what has been the key with Jackson State keeping coaches for so many years? Seems like Jackson State has a great alumni network.
Winning, that helps. Winning helps. Coach, like I said, Coach Johnson's been here, been a head coach here 15 years, and I think he was an assistant coach here 4 or 5 before that. So he's from Miami, but he's a Jacksonian. He's been here a long time, and one good thing about our network here, for the guys that are play here, it's tight. Jackson State is family. I tell kids all the time, you don't really sign a 4-year scholarship to come to Jackson State University. You sign a lifetime scholarship to come here because the network here is unbelievable. I wish hopefully this COVID stuff lifts and we can kind of get back to a normal school, because our campus life is unbelievable. It's you can walk on our plaza every day, and it's kids hanging out and they're playing music, and so it's an unbelievable atmosphere here. I can't speak on nobody else's school, but I know how it is at HBCU, and I know how it is at Jackson State University, and it's always good to be around people that kind of know who you are and know what you go through, and we this place is really awesome. People ask me all the time, why Jackson State, and I tell them, this is grandmother's house, and the same feeling that you had when you went to your grandmother's house, and somebody's going to take care of you and give you a hot meal and spoil you a little bit. That's how it is here at Jackson State University.
All right. Brandon, what up? All right. What up, coaches? How can a out-of-state player become an in-state player for tuition? If he gets an apartment on campus, does he qualify for in-state tuition?
Well, most of the time right now, I think right now with our school, we're waiving the out-of-state fee. So, that's kind of, something that, we not really having to deal with right now at the moment. So, from a out-of-state tuition standpoint, most of the time our school have been waiving the out-of-state tuition.
How was your player's development as a high school player coming in and developing throughout 4 to 5 years in your program?
The development is unbelievable, from a standpoint of bringing in kids that, from just say, you bring him in as a 17-year-old high school senior, and by the time you leave, he's going to be a 22-year-old man, 21, 22-year-old man. And you can kind of see the development, after the first fall, because most of the kids in which we recruit, those kids play multiple sports, so, those guys are, football players, and, they leave football and go to basketball, leave basketball and go to baseball. So, by the time you get them in that first fall, from August to December, you're going to see guys that are going to come in here, they're going to be 160 pounds soaking wet. And, when they leave, going home to December, they're going to be 175, 180 pounds, just because our strength staff is going to do an unbelievable job. We have an unbelievable strength staff here. Coach LP does a really good job with our players as far as, pushing those guys in the weight room. After our workouts, we do a really good job of making sure those guys get protein shakes. We have, shakes, bars. We have a kind of a snack station. So if any time those guys kind of want to come through and get a snack, those guys come through and get those things. So they do a really good job as far as, from a strength standpoint. But, when you're able to get a high school kid to come in and focus on one sport, once he gets to college and focus on that for a long period of time, the development is going to go, leaps and bounds.
All right. Shout out to my girl Keisha in Houston. She says, with respect to COVID, when recruiting a player from out of state, what is the best way for a parent to assist a player in making a decision, since campus visit may be the next to impossible before they need to make a decision? She has a 2022. How is the community environment around JSU for a Black student athlete?
Well, first of all, they can set up a visit to visit the school anytime, as far as the school goes, from an athletic standpoint. we can't do anything, as far as, having contact with the player. But if they just want to visit the school, I think they can visit the school, but we can't contact them. The athletic environment around Jackson State is really good, from a baseball standpoint. Like I said, Coach Johnson's been here 15 years, going on his 15th season. And up until this point, I think he's got 13 30-plus win seasons. So, from a baseball standpoint, it's really good.
All right. This came in. I got to see freshman in college. Let me see. What does a freshman in college now needs to show to get to JSU?
Is this a junior college kid?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're a junior college. I don't know. Yeah, I guess junior college, right? Because it wouldn't make no sense, right? If you had a 4-year school, right?
Well, from a JUCO standpoint, you have to figure. For me, I have to figure out now: is he a COVID freshman or is he a freshman? Because you know what I mean. If he's a COVID freshman, there's a good chance that he's probably going to have an opportunity to graduate from junior college with his AA, and we can start the recruitment process. But most of the time, if he's a true freshman at high school, most of the time, if he's at a junior college, they probably want to keep him for 2 years, especially if he wasn't a qualifier through the NCAA out of high school.
All right. I'm going to keep my quiet. I know who it is now. I'm going to keep quiet on that. So I'm going to get on them for the question over there. I know who it was. But what do you think about parents who always think kids should go to HBCUs after they're done?
Done meaning?
I don't know. Let me see. All right, he redid it. All right. How do you feel about parents in general thinking that HBCUs should take kids after they don't get recruited by the PWIs? That's what I guess he was meaning.
I think it's a two-way street. I think there's a lot of misinformation that's given about baseball at HBCUs, because there's some really phenomenal coaches around the country that are at HBCUs. But I feel like the guy that I work for is pretty dang good too. So like I said, we're going to continue to recruit guys that are going to schools, that are non-HBCU schools, and we just going to continue to shake as many trees and try to get those guys here at Jackson State University.
All right. Ray Johnson says, Coach Hey, what's up? Ray is in North Carolina. All right. Let me see. Saw those games this weekend. Hard to watch. Theodore Watson says that. Hassan.
That's true. I agree with you.
I didn't mean to post that. All right. No disrespect to any prior guests. This is the best interview so far. A lot of great info. Lord have mercy. Not just for kids looking at Jackson State. Okay, Trav. All right, man. Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right. Let me see here. My boy Greg Wood out in California said, for those players you have out of Cali, do you see a difference in playing style compared to those from other states?
I think everybody's got their own little flair. Whether you recruiting Cali kids, you recruiting Mississippi kids, Florida kids, whether we're getting kids from Puerto Rico. I think everybody's got their own little, I guess you can say, swagger of how they play the game. But, the biggest thing, for us, we want some kids that just play hard. You know what I mean? That just play hard, play the game the right way. And, a lot of times, playing hard and playing the game the right way, that can, kind of level it out, if you don't have the tools, in which somebody else does. So, we just want kids to come in and play hard and continue to develop and improve.
All right. What up, Yvette? I ain't heard from you in a minute. Shout out to my Yvette in Pennsylvania. What academic support do you offer your athletes?
Like I said before, I don't know if you were on, but we have an unbelievable academic advisor, Miss Glass. She does our academic support for our athletes as far as baseball goes. And, she does a phenomenal job, from study hall to checking on class attendance, checking on assignments. Each week we get a weekly printout. She sends over a printout to us coaches, and kind of lets us know exactly what guys have turned in what assignments, what guys have missed what assignments, what guys have not attended what class. So, we do a really good job of academic support. I said previous that we graduate guys here at from a baseball standpoint at 92%. So 92% of the guys that have walked through our doors from a baseball standpoint leave out of Jackson State University with a degree.
All right. Heidi says, shout out to Heidi. I was just listening to you earlier. Connecting with you earlier, coming out there to Cali, my showcase out there. She said, what does a 2024 in California need to do to get the attention of the HBCU baseball programs?
First of all, maybe attend that D Brown showcase coming up in California. That'll
do it, coach.
That'll get the ball rolling.
I'm saying, coach.
Probably, use social media. Use social media as much as possible. You can find me on social media at Coach Crick, CRICK. So that's at Coach COACH Crick, CRICK. You can find me on Twitter. I'll put it in the chat box.
Yeah, do that for me, coach. I was trying to write it down,
but you can find me on Twitter right there. And you use social media. Use all social media platforms as much as possible to put yourself in a position to let as many schools see you.
I got
as
you,
possible.
Let me see here. All right. I got you, coach. My bad. I'm over here.
No, it's all good.
I got you. Let me copy this here.
I'd like to be a weekly guest on this thing, man. I like the feedback. No, this helps me because it helps me from a recruiting standpoint because, understanding this, these are parents, you know what I mean? And they got to entrust in me to let me have their son. And, that's an unbelievable honor to get that because, from a standpoint of, looking back, my mom, a single parent, she had to turn me over to Gary Reeders as an 18-year-old kid. So, unbelievable amount of trust she had to give him to turn her only child over to him. So, from a standpoint of recruiting, I need to know these questions. I need to know what the parents are thinking. And, from, outside of Jackson State standpoint, man, I just want to keep it real with them.
Listen, man, that's why I have this platform, man, so these parents can ask away. And I appreciate, you and all y'all coaches that take out the time, man. And no doubt, man, anytime you want to come on, coach, you just tell me, man. I got about 5 more minutes of your time, okay, man. And I'm gonna get you up out of here, man. So parents, we're gonna get these last few questions squared away over here. And then Trevor, I know you asked the multiple sports question. Coach has already answered that. He likes, dual sport guys, and it definitely is a plus. I'm gonna answer the question for him. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Shout out to my girl Stella out there in Dallas. You know who we talking about over there, Coach. All right. Quincy's mom over there trying to. All right. She asked, how many players do you carry on the roster?
Normally, I think the roster's got expanded this year, due to COVID to like maybe 40 or something. But, normally we carry about 30, 35 maybe. But we can only travel about 27, 28. So our rosters are not, not normally big. We try to keep it limited. We want to keep it to the amount of guys we have.
Excuse me. Do you have any guys from the Midwest on the team?
Yeah, we got some Midwest guys. I think we got some JUCO guys from Chicago area, and I think we got a couple more guys from. Is Wisconsin considered the Midwest? I don't know. got a guy from Wisconsin, got a guy from Chicago. So you definitely want to recruit guys, from the Midwest. Let's play some really good baseball in the Midwest, especially Chicago. Just trying to continue to shake some trees in that area, trying to find some really good players.
Yeah, Jay Meyer, he's from Wisconsin, so yeah, it's Midwest.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Raphael says, "Are you able to visit a lot of high school games now that the season has started? And there's videos going to send to your way for evaluation, and there's video best way, I guess, to send your way for evaluation."
Yeah. Right now, the NCAA will not allow us to get out. I think we were hoping they had a date scheduled for around April 15th. I think was the date, but they just extended it again. I think last week to the end of May. So we're just we're tied kind of right now. Due to COVID and things like that. So like I said, from a standpoint of seeing video, Twitter. You can send it to me on Twitter, tag me in it, and I'll try to do the best, as far as, if you send it to me, good chance I'm going to look at it. I'm not, one of those guys that, just don't look at it. Because if you send it to me, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to try to do the best I can. I'm evaluating it. And if it's a guy I really like, I'm definitely going to send it to Coach Johnson. And he say, hey, let's do it. And, we were talking about a kid the other night on our way back from a game in Mercer. And, he asked me about the kid. He was like, hey, what do you think about him? I said, I really like him. I said, I think he'd be a Jackson State man. He said, well, offer him. You know what I mean? Because, he had seen the video on the kid, and, we both was on the same page about the kid. And there's kids he liked that I'm like, and there's kids I like, and he's, but that's part of it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when he likes a guy and I like it, I think we both know what we're looking for, and but it's when we both are on the same page about a kid, there's a good chance his offer about to come out pretty quick.
All right. My boy D Carr says, "I'm Coach Crick. I'm going to be sending you some more film soon." Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. D Carr was out there, and he was down there. He came in from Atlanta yesterday to my showcase. So shout out to my boy D Carr, flying out from H-Town, get out in that snow, coming under ATL. All right. So Heidi, I see you at the showcase in California. All right. Eric says, do you train in the early morning, in the fall, and the spring? What's a typical day look like during spring and in the season during fall?
All right. Is this non-COVID or COVID? Because it's, it's well, I can kind of give it to you how we doing it right now. Most of our kids are most of our guys are virtual guys. So, their class schedule is dictated, online. We try to get our hitters in the morning to kind of get all of our offensive stuff all of our hitting, all of our stuff done in the morning, for probably around 10, depending on, if they have class. If those guys do have class at that particular time, we have Wi-Fi at the field so they can get on and log on at the field to make sure they stay in class. Probably after that, our position players go to the weight room. They'll get a really good lift in with our strength staff. Then kind of we'll come back, after lunch, kind of as a team and get our team stuff in as far as pitchers and bullpens and defensive work, kind of do that in the afternoon.
All right. Let's go here. We said, do you have more left-handed pitcher or right-handed pitchers, Coach?
I think right now we got more right-handed pitchers, but I want both. I want some strike throwers, left-handed and right-handed.
Byron says, let me get it here. All right. Oh boy, Woody said, will you be watching live stream for Coach's D Cali Showcase? Correct. Greg will put you on the spot, Coach.
Well, if we're not playing, you better believe I'm gonna be watching.
There you go, Woody. All right, boy. All right, we don't play over here. All right. Are you still recruiting for 2021?
Yeah, we're still recruiting for 2021. Just kind of feeling some needs. The needs are not as great right now. We're probably going to fill it with a few more arms and possibly, a couple position players depending on the position. But, we are still recruiting some 2021. Not a lot, but, we are still recruiting some.
All right. NC Central baseball program is being discontinued next year. Is COVID having a negative effect on your program, Coach?
No, sir, it's not. Our program is in a pretty good shape right now, thank God. And, we just going to continue to work hard each day to build our program. And, we want to continue to compete on a national level.
All right. Yvette says, regarding the recruitment rules, can you reply to prospects via email or social media, or just parents and coaches, RE players?
If he's of recruitable age, yes, I can reply. But if he's not of recruitable age, let's say if he's a 2023, 2024, 2025 kid, I can't comment. But if he's a 2021, 2022 or JUCO kid, yeah, I can comment, yes.
All right. All right. Enjoying the pod. Great job, Coach. Thank you, Salosa. Thank you for yesterday, too. All right. My son Chandler could play. Do you redshirt the young incoming freshmen, meaning they are still 17 when they arrive on campus?
I think, kid coming in is going to dictate his future. We're not going to say, hey, this kid's 17 years old, we're going to put a red shirt on him. If he can help us win a ball game, we're going to play him.
All right. Crystal says, have you completed recruiting for the class of 2021?
We're still trying to fill some needs in the 2021 class. Like I said, we're going to fill it with a few pitchers, possibly a few position players, just depending on the player and the position of need.
All right. Jose says he got a 2023 catcher. Do you recruit kids from the north?
Yeah, we recruit, man. I don't care where they're from. Like I said, if they can help us win a ball game, I'm all for it. I don't, whether it's New York, California, Florida, Puerto Rico, Mississippi, Texas, it don't matter. We recruit them.
All right. D said let him know about Super First Baby 275. All right, that's your two-sport guy right there. Coach saying Dion, he'll like him, and you gonna like him too. Switch hitter, big boy. I'm telling you, swing it, big dog, swing it. The more the scouts love him too right now. Super pop on both sides. Anger move for a big boy. Yeah. But with the number of HBCU programs folding in North Carolina, any chance of expanding recruiting to North Carolina, lots of African American talent in that area?
Yeah, man, they got them. Feel free to contact me. I don't care where they're from. I want some guys that are going, like I said, we want some difference makers. We want some guys who can play at an elite level. And, I don't care, whether if they North Carolina kids want to come to Jackson State University, I'm all for it.
All right. Last couple questions, Coach, man. Do you foresee a lot of parents gray shirting their kids due to COVID and missing out on recruitment opportunities? How do you view that if they do?
I can only, it's kind of up in the air. I guess the kid is the dictator to that, the type of recruitment that the kid has got. Has COVID put a challenge on some kids being seen? Yeah, without a doubt. It's, this 2021 class and, last year's 2020 class, a lot of those kids went unseen just because college coaches just couldn't get out and, to those tournaments. We kind of make a living on going to, to Atlanta to the big tournament over there. And, we got a big tournament over in Lake Charles, with Future Stars and being able to go over and see those tournaments and see summer games, because a lot of times, it's a challenge in the spring to get out and see as many high school and junior college games because, we're playing at the same time when those guys are playing. So, a lot of our recruiting is done in the summertime and being able to get guys on campus to camps.
All right. My boy Quincy says, what up, Coach D, Coach Whiteside? I appreciate you both sharing your knowledge and good luck to you this year. My boy Quincy out in Dallas, Texas. All right. All right. Let me go here. On your current roster, do y'all have any potential draft selections this spring?
Yeah, we got some potential draft guys. We really do. Like I said, we got three outfielders that I feel really good about it. They have a really good year, have an opportunity to get drafted. We have a couple pitchers that we feel really good about it. They have a really good year. And we got some young guys. They're not draftable age right now, but a couple years down the road, we feel pretty good about it. But those are the type of kids that we want to recruit. We want to recruit kids that have an opportunity to get drafted and have an opportunity to play some pro ball.
All right. Joe Smith says, how many out-of-state scholarships do you guys offer?
Not really. We don't really have a limit of out-of-state scholarships. We have, pretty much baseball is limited to 11.7 scholarships. Depending on their institution. So we have to take 11.7 scholarships and divide it up amongst, ever how many guys on our roster if they're a scholarship kid. So, we try to do a really good job of recruiting guys that can play baseball at a high level, but at the same time, we got really good academics because, academic assistance as far as, academic scholarships can help the families a lot, so that's why I try to tell as many kids as possible, make sure you take care of your academics. Start preparing for that ACT right now, SAT, and the sooner, the better. Because if you look at guys that are freshmen and sophomores in high school right now, they need to start taking that test right now. They don't need to wait till their junior and senior year to try to take the test. They need to go ahead, take the test now, and see where they are. Even if they don't score as high as they think they should, still take it. Get into some ACT prep classes. It's stuff online that where they can prepare, for that ACT test. Excuse me. And so by the time they get to their senior year, they can kind of relax. But the biggest thing in which high school kids got to understand, the grades that they make as a freshman and sophomore is going to dictate their GPA as a senior. A lot of times kids think, well, I can make up 3 years of bad grades in 1 year. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So focus on having a really good GPA your freshman and sophomore year. Have a 3.5 GPA or better your freshman and sophomore year in high school. So now by the time you get to your junior and senior year, your GPA is almost set. Now you can just focus on getting that ACT score up.
I hope you just heard what he just said. All right. We just did an hour and 5-6 minutes right there. All right. For any parent, especially, because I get a lot of, is it time yet? Do I need to, is it too young, coach, to start the recruiting process and all of that? What Coach Whiteside just said, especially you are 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, whatever. All right. He just gave you gold right there. Man, he just spit knowledge to you guys, especially you have a young, inspiring college baseball player that is in 7th, 8th grade who asked me any type of information about is it too young to start the recruiting process. My boy just gave you, straight facts right there. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you understand.
People got to understand your film is going to sell itself. Okay, your ability, your tools. They're going to, like, once I push play on the video you sent me, your tools are going to jump off the charts. You know what I mean? Oh, man, this kid's 6'4". He's 190 pounds. He can run. He can hit. He can throw. I'm going to see those things instantly. But those transcripts, that's your resume. That's your resume. And if you see me those transcripts and it's F's and D's, I can't do anything with that. You know what I mean? I can't. You know what I mean? That's basically going to go right in the garbage. So if your transcripts look like your film, we got something. But if you got 5-star film and 0-star transcripts, I can't, I can't do nothing with it. Can't nobody do nothing with that. So, focus on those academics, your freshman, sophomore year. So by the time you get to your junior and senior year, you don't have to play catch up. You don't have to worry about going to summer school. Go to summer school not because you have to repeat a class. Go to summer school because you want to get ahead and try to get ahead of the curve.
I'm gonna go ahead and get this last because sometimes, you know, when things are said and it don't, not too many things need to be said post that. I know you may have more questions, parents in there, but my man just, you know, I know you got a 2021 or 20. He ain't really, it don't really, you know, equate to you and over there. But what he just said right there is for the young parents out there is just straight gold. All right, so I'm gonna get this last question in my boy Keith. And we're gonna get you out of here, coach, because that was that. You know, that I got to go back and rewind that little nugget over there. Take that little piece out
No
there.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's gold right there. The I'm sorry, that wasn't a question here. Keith says in some states the tests are not being given. How do you accommodate for those students?
Okay, I know right now the NCAA has kind of put a waiver on the ACT test, but for us, and I know some other schools, you have to have a test to get in the school. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. The NCAA, yes, I think they did waiver the test, but at the same time, from an academic standpoint, our school, Jackson State University, we require you to have an ACT score to get into school. And I think you can check out the admissions requirements online at www.jsums.edu.
All right, I wish I could write that down, but Laquita, we talked about this yesterday. I'm glad you're gonna talk to your son. He needs to hear that. You know, matter of fact, I done mentally wrote down the seconds, 107 point something. All right, hour 107 point something. My boy gave you that nugget. So Laquita, you know, want him to hit a whole thing, but if you want to just gonna narrow in on that grade thing, it's hour 7. You know, hour 107 or something. All right, round in there. Just listen in. It'd be good. All right. Um, this is they will allow a special test that JSU offers, I do believe. All right. They will allow a special test that JSU offers. All right, Stella, she knows. All right. Shantae, good stuff. All right, Gina, I got you. This is okay. Last message. And if you could, I encourage everyone to
Yes.
check out the Eligibility Center. NCAA has requirements that meet eligibility as a prospective student athlete, like a college prep classes, only not foundation classes. All right. So good advice, Yvette.
And with that, the NCAA Eligibility Center, make sure your kids are registered through the NCAA clearinghouse because they're going to have to go through that process too. So make sure they go through the NCAA clearinghouse process. You can sign up. I think it's a maybe like a $90 fee or something like that. But they're going to have to make sure they have their NCAA ID number. That's kind of like their social security number for the NCAA. So every time they log in, you know, if we're going to offer a kid a scholarship, we got to have an NCAA number in order to offer that kid.
All right. All right. Jacqueline, all right, good talking with you last week. 8th grader, I'm glad you got that information. All right. And my boy Woody in California, thanks for dropping straight knowledge, coach. All right. Woody, all right, says that to you, coach. All right.
I appreciate it.
All right, cool. So, coach, if you could, man, I have all my guests take us out on a great message, man. Give me a minute over there. Let me just get my messages, but you know, say my little piece out there before you say your message, man. And thank you for all the knowledge you have been spitting. Parents, listen, I want to also, again, I just want to thank all the parents that made their way. From Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Maryland, Ohio. All right. That's 9 states represented yesterday. All right. 9 states and the U.S. Virgin Islands. All right. So that's a whole nother country. So I appreciate it. All you guys flying in, driving in, all right, to Atlanta, Georgia for the showcase in Atlanta yesterday. All right. So shout out to all you guys making a trip out of state in the season to come to my showcase. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you for showcasing your talents and doing your thing out there. Tomorrow, I'll talk a little bit more about the showcase individually. March 20th, all right? We will be doing the same thing, all right, out there in Cali. We're going out to the left coast out there, all right? So March 20th, okay, in Hawthorne, California. Look up my site or anything like that. I will be talking more about it. Shout out to the people that the parents and players that already signed up for that. But we are coming out there March 20th, and we're just keeping this ball rolling, giving kids opportunities from across the country and now other states coming in. All right. So this is what we're doing out here. All right. So coaches, you just heard. All right. Coach Whiteside said if he's available to look at the live stream, and the good thing is I send the footage of the showcases to these guys, man, for when they got the time to look at these players, man. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what we're providing, man, out here with this D Brown baseball and these showcases. Shout out to Tim Battle. Shout out to Coach Osborne. Shout out to Coach Casey Carter out there at Clark. Shout out to my boy Andrew College. I'm drawing a blank. Hell, he's gonna forgive me. He's coming on Friday, but coming on, coming out there and doing their thing and helping me out, and my boy Easy out there with the Royals scouting and everything. So it was a cool atmosphere. Great way. All right. This is and I'm gonna leave it at that. But boy said, dear parents, if you think the cost is an expense, then you're not looking at the investment that Coach D Brown is making in our children. This is a good guy who wants the best for our kids, and that's facts. Shout out to my boy Eric, you know what I'm saying, McDuffie, who came up from Miami, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia yesterday, man. He gave me goosebumps over there. Eric, appreciate you, my brother. All right. So no doubt about it. That's what I'm here to do, man. So we coming to California. All right. Whew. Okay. Coach, man, if you could, man, take us out, man, on a great message, man. And I appreciate you taking out your time, man, in season to do your thing, man. So if you could, appreciate you, brother. I'm taking us out on a great message.
Man, first and foremost, man, I want to thank you for getting me on this platform. This is an unbelievable platform. It kind of gives me an opportunity to answer some questions from parents, give those guys an opportunity to ask some questions. And first and foremost, I want to thank you for that. But any student athlete interested in Jackson State University, man, this is an unbelievable place. And I would just definitely tell you to look into the HBCU experience because if you ever step foot on the HBCU campus, it is a unbelievable experience. From game days in the fall to the spring, it's just in a different environment. And this place is really special. It holds a really special place in my heart. Like I said, I played here, got my degree from Jackson State University. Now I have an opportunity to come back and coach. It's unbelievable. But if you got any questions, any film, like I said, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, email me, and I try to do the best I can to respond to everybody that sends me some video. Like I said, if they're 2023 kids or beyond that, 2023, 2024s, I can't respond to you. Don't think I'm not interested in you. I definitely see some kids that I really like, but I just can't come in because they're not recruitable age. But 2022s, 2021s, and definitely JUCO guys, if you send me some video, definitely be in contact.
All right.
And to Jackson State, I love.
Listen, man, I ain't never been to the campus.
We gotta get you down here, man.
Yeah, and I done been by there, and I've been, I done drove in and around that campus over there. But look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm a big college HBCU band fanatic. Okay,
don't get much better than the Sonic Boom of the South, baby.
Hey, when you talking about somebody that listens to that stuff on YouTube and what I'm saying, and know the fight song, and I seen y'all when y'all came up to Memphis when you did the classic over every year. Y'all come up there and play Tennessee State. But I ain't never been down there to experience it, man. But I mean, listen, man, there's only a few bands, man, that get down like, the Sonic Boom, man. So I show you that love now. I give y'all that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And especially them dancing girls. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of there if I get in trouble, man. But listen, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, man, we'll be back on here. We got a fun-filled week, man. We will be definitely kind of give me this knowledge, man. Please, listen to this again. If you have a kid, that's in the recruiting process and he just spit a bunch of knowledge, man. That's all we're here to do is to give you guys, the great information and provide a platform for great coaches like Coach Whiteside to talk about their schools. And you get to see the man behind, the men behind these programs, man. So make fans of these guys, man. So hit them up, reach out to them on the Twitter, the emails with quality video. Hopefully, coach from my followers, we can help Jackson State program, providing you with some talent, man, and continue to show. I'll be reaching out to you with some of my guys, man, like we've been doing and talking, man. And helping you, man, fill that roster up in the near future, man. All right. So I appreciate you, my coach.
Sounds
Thank you,
good,
my
bro.
brother.
I appreciate you having me on, man. Peace and love.
No doubt about it. Parents, 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We keep this ball rolling. Peace and love, y'all.